everyone, I'm Tim, and today we're going to talk about my everyday carry, what I carry on my person every day. Doesn't mean what you should carry or what you should not carry. It's just me and my personal preference, and that comes from a lot of years of being a law enforcement officer working out in the forest, also being a law enforcement officer inside a city. So I've learned a lot of tricks along the way. I picked up a lot of things, and for what I carry today and the type of work I do today, I like keeping things very minimal, very light. So each thing that I choose to keep on my body, I take into very careful consideration about the uses for it, but multiple uses, and how often I'm actually going to use it. If it's something that I'm not going to really ever need, or maybe I might need it one time out of 1,000, I know a lot of people will still carry it. For me, I personally don't. And I'll go over what I do religiously every day before I leave the house, what I carry. The first thing that I take into consideration is the clothing that I wear. If you're going to carry certain things, you're going to have to make sure you're dressed appropriately to carry those things. You're going to have to make sure that if you're carrying a weapon or anything like that, you're going to be able to do so safely and concealable. One of the things that I look at is the type of pants I wear. For me, I actually use the 511 brand. It's seemed to be a really great pair of pants for me. They have all different models. They have the darker denim, which I also have. I like it a lot. I use the lighter denim today just to kind of show you how the pants are set up. And the neat thing about them is you have a back pocket here, but there's a little hidden pocket right here in between. And what I like about that pocket, I can take a magazine and I can stick it right there, and it's there. And on the other side, I can take my wallet and I can put it right there. And if you notice, these pockets are in between the front pocket and the back pocket, so it's an in-between pocket. And if you look at the way that would fit your body, it's hitting you right in here, so you don't really notice that being in your pocket that much because it's in an odd spot. And the spot that it's in, it actually makes it very comfortable. And the rest of the jeans are pretty much standard, except they have a lot of belt loops. And I like that because that keeps everything tight, it keeps your pants from sagging, and it's a really great option for me. So with that, you also have to take in consideration the type of belt that you're wearing. Don't go out and buy one of those flimsy belts. They're no good, and they're going to give you a lot of trouble. If you're going to carry anything that has any weight, you're going to need a belt like this black one. It's very thick, or this brown one. It's also very thick. It's got a good buckle on it. Or if I'm wearing like cargo pants, stuff like that, or shorts, sometimes I'll wear a belt like this, which is more of a tactical belt. This one's actually made by 511 as well. And this belt has been around for 10 years now. It shows a little bit of wear in spots, but it's really not that bad. It shows where some discoloration in the buckle, where I wore some of the paint off of it, but I've been happy with it. It's been a great belt, and it will continue to last me well. And when it comes to clothing, don't be afraid to spend more money on your clothing, because with your clothing, if you spend the extra bucks on it, it's going to last longer. The nicer brands will last a little bit longer. They'll cost a little bit up front, but you'll get your use out of them. So it's really worth saving your money, saving up for one of those and buying it. The next thing that's a must for me every day, you can tell I have one on today, is a really good undershirt. Now, when I say good undershirt, it's going to be a sports style shirt that's got the moisture wicking materials. And the nice thing about these is whenever you're wearing them, they're going to draw the water or the moisture away from your body, keep it cooler, and that's the number one thing. So spend the money, get a nice moisture wicking shirt. And from there, I go two different ways. I'll either go with a standard flannel shirt that I'll throw over that I can button up, or sometimes I'll just leave it unbuttoned. I'll go that route, or if I'm out hiking, it's really cold outside, and I'll go for a more substantial shirt. This is more the canvas style materials, and it has a liner on the inside. And normally when I wear these, I don't even wear coats with them unless it's raining. I got some kind of snow or rain. Then I'll put them on. Like tonight, it's snowing out there and it's raining. That's why I'm in here filming. But if I was outside, I would put another layer over the top of this. And I like these because they have the snaps, so you can snap it up. and it's a legit shirt. And this one wasn't extremely expensive. It's a Redhead, so it's just the Bass Pro shirt, but it's heavy duty, and I like it, and it's lasted me for about 5 years now, so it's been around, it's did its job. Next thing I want to talk about for my everyday carry is I'll just go down the line of everything that's in my pockets. Again, I like to stay really light. I don't like a lot of stuff on me. I don't carry anything that I don't use multiple times a week. So my number one thing is my ink pen. Every grown man should have a way to write down something, whether it's notes, whether you're signing for something. I don't like using other people's pens. My grandparents taught me always carry a pen, so I've always carried a pen. With that, this just twists out like this, and it's a pen. If you notice, this is metal. And the neat thing about this is this end of the pen is actually a glass breaker. You can push it up against the glass. It has a spring in it, and it will shatter glass. So if you're trying to get out of your car and escape, if you've made a mistake in the Jeep and you need out real quick, this is the way you're going to have to go. And I like it because it's right in my pocket with everything else. It's part of my everyday carry. So this is my number one thing. Now with a little training, you can figure out how to use this as a defensive tactic weapon. There's a lot of different pressure points moves that you can use, and it's a legit everyday carry pressure point control device as well. You can use it with some jabs. So one of these pens I highly recommend. There's a ton of them on the internet, but this one's the one I choose. I used to carry a round flashlight. I still have one. This now goes in my go bag, which we'll go over the go bag on a whole nother day. But with this is what I carried for years. It gives off enough light, but it doesn't give off an incredible amount of light. But I still like it. I still keep it around as a backup, and I don't wear it on my person every day. I used to, but it's in my bag, so I still have it. What I actually replaced it with was a Streamlight. This Streamlight is called the Streamlight Wedge. It's got two settings on it. It's got like a normal burning light, and then it's got a really bright light. And the neat thing about that is it's more than just your little average everyday flashlight, plus it runs for over an hour. Now, the coolness about it is it clips in your pocket just like a knife would, and it's about the same diameter as a knife. So a lot of times I think I have a knife in my pocket when it's actually this flashlight. So I have to wear this purposely. I wear this one on my left side, and if you notice, I attached a little piece of paracord to it just to remind me this is not a knife, it's a flashlight. It also has a USB-C charger, so I can charge it anywhere, so it's handy for that. And it's just been a really great light. This is my 3rd year carrying it, and it's been great. I wouldn't replace it unless something better comes along. And I'll tell you a story about the light real quick while we're talking about it. And why do you need a flashlight on your everyday carry? Actually, a flashlight is one of your most important everyday carry things you can put on your body. And once you start wearing one, you'll figure that out real quick. If you use your cell phone light, it's not a great light. And I'll tell you a story. I was in Bentonville, Arkansas one time. I've been out and I've been all through the trails. We're 3 days in the trails. We were just tired of sleeping in Jeeps and being out on the trail. Imagine that. But it gets to a point where you just need a hot shower. Well, right over by the hotel was this really nice cigar lounge, and they have really good smoky old fashions in there, and they had some good cigars. So we thought, well, we're going to go over there and have a cigar, and we're going to get a hotel room and take a nice hot shower and clean up. So it was raining outside. It was just terrible. It was coming down. Lightning was crashing. So we were happy to get inside the hotel and get a shower. After the showers and everything, cleaned up, just got in the hallway, about halfway down this hallway. And let me tell you how this is set up. You go up these elevators, then it branches off to another hallway going this way, a hallway going that way, another hallway, which swings around to those hallways to a whole nother layer where the windows are. So you get really lost in there really easy. It's like a big maze inside this hotel. So they put us like at the furthest end of the whole hotel. I think they chose the last room to stick us in. And once we get down there and we're leaving, we're going down the hallway and this big bolt of lightning crashes. Everything lights up outside and everything goes dark. And I was like, no big deal. Emergency lighting's going to kick on, and there was no emergency lighting. Nothing came on after that. And I was like, well, generator's going to come on. Nope, no generator came on either. So it was pitch black in this hotel, and I had no idea how to get around it. We ran across another couple, and they had their cell phone out, and they could hardly see. And I pulled this out of my pocket, turned it on, and we could see all the way down the hallway to the next hallway. So it was a lifesaver. And we ended up with 7 people huddled up behind us, following us down the stairs and out of there because you couldn't see. And we're on the 3rd floor of this hotel, and it's pitch black. So we made some friends. They appreciated the light. I'm sure one of them went out and bought one after that. But, you know, you just never know where you're going to be. You might be in a shopping mall. You might be in a store, and the lights go out. You're going to want to be able to get around. You lose stuff in your car all the time. This is great to try to find stuff. And once you start wearing a flashlight every day, you'll never quit wearing a flashlight every day. I got that back from my cop days. We always had multiple lights on us in case one of them quit shining, the next one would start shining. Because there's nothing like being in the middle of a field with a canine dog trying to track down a suspect and your flashlight goes out at 3:30 in the morning. So you learn to have more than one. They always say one's none. So you always have 2, 3, 4 flashlights on you so you're able to see. So I pick it up from that. At least I have that. I can use my cell phone if I have to as a backup, so I'm happy. The next thing that I go nowhere without is a lighter. And this is a small lighter, a lot smaller than a knife even. But again, I like stuff that fits down in my pockets that I don't really notice being in my pockets. And the cool thing about this is it's butane. It's got 2 burners on it. And this thing lights something up quick. This is actually designed for my cigars. It's windproof. I can light a cigar out there in the wind, on the beach, and there's no problem, or out in the forest. And it's waterproof. It can fall down in water. It's not going to run it. So it's got this nice case on it that seals up. So this is my everyday carry. It's refillable. I can refill. I just take it out, refill it with butane. I always carry butane, extra butane with me in my car, in my house, so I'm good to go. So I always keep a lighter. If you want to start a fire, whatever you want to do, that is what you need. Next thing is going to be my knives. I got 2 knives. They're both made out from Benchmade. They're both actually the very exact same knife, just a little different. So they're both autos. With this one, it just has a solid blade on it. I like the all black. And the second one, you can see it's pretty wore out. It's green. Used to match my uniform. That's why it's green. It's also auto, but it has the serrated blade along with the normal blade. So I like it too. And I think I'm going to send this one back to Benchmade because it needs some work done on it. It's been around a long time. Next thing that I go nowhere without is my AirPods. My AirPods is a game changer. If I'm going to be on my cell phone or whatever, last thing I'm going to do is walk around with a phone in my ear, not paying attention to what I'm doing. So I always wear my AirPods. I'll either wear one or the other. I never put them in at the same time because I want to be able to hear what's going on out of the other ear without any distractions. And the neat thing about the Apple AirPods, it actually enhances the sound whenever you're not talking on the phone at all. You can actually hear things actually better, especially with me being half deaf, it seems like. I can hear things better in that ear while I'm wearing my AirPods. So that comes in very handy. And if I'm on the phone, or if I'm getting a text message or whatever, I can hear that in my ear. I can answer it without getting my phone out. And I love that part about it. So always have some kind of hands-free device on you to where you can put in your ear and not have your hands tied up to your phone. You'll thank me later for that because it's a game changer. It's a lifesaver. And you'd be surprised how many people are looking at you whenever your hands are all tied up and you're on your phone not paying attention. Next thing is my wallet. It's a minimum wallet. There's nothing to it. It carries all the cards that I need to carry, and it's very thin. Again, I like minimal stuff. I don't notice it. Slips down the pocket, and it's just my personal preference. I don't like to carry around a lot of things in my pocket. I told you about firearms. Always have an extra magazine. If you're going to carry a firearm, always carry at least 1 extra magazine with you. It's just something that you need to get in the habit of, and it's just what you have to do. Next thing's your cell phone. Your cell phone's very important. It's important because you got all this information at your hands, alerts, things that are going on, maybe some warning going out that you're in an area where an active shooter is or something. Cell phone's something we need nowadays. We've come connected to it. Now with the Starlink system, we're going to be able to use our cell phones in the middle of nowhere, which I still haven't decided if that's a good thing or not, but it's been a game changer with these cell phones. You're going to see it grow and grow within the months to come, and it's a good thing. I like them. And what I like about them is I can download maps, store maps, pull up stuff, and you should keep at least one version from the latest. Or the latest. So this one I skipped 2 versions before I got this last year's model, just because the other versions weren't all that great. They weren't all that different. So this last one came out, I got it, which I'm going to regret because supposedly this newer one coming out is going to be even better than last year. So I always like to stay at least a year or so up with the latest technology of cell phone. And I don't mind spending the extra money for it. It's something that I use every single day. It's my camera, it's my everything. So get a good cell phone. You don't go for just the cheapo phones. Having a legit cell phone is a big thing. And my last thing, besides, I guess I should mention my watch. I just carried the Apple Watch. It's the Explorer, Expedition, whatever they call it. It's the one that tells you how deep down in the water you are. It tells you when noises are too loud. It tells you the weather. It tells you everything. So I can start a track. It will backtrack. It will do everything I need it to do. So I like having a watch. And the reason that I like this model is you don't have to charge it every day. It can go 3 days without a charge, which when we go out and hiking and stuff like that, it's a huge plus. Last thing I'll talk about is my everyday carry firearm. There's 2 of them I carry. This one here is for the days that I'm out and I'm not going to be wearing clothing that I can really conceal a firearm with. So with this one, it's a very minimum pouch, and it's designed to go in the pocket. So whenever you have it in there, you don't really notice it's in the pocket. It fits around it. It doesn't print. And the firearm I carry is very minimum there. It's a 380 Kel-Tec, but it's a great firearm and it does its purpose. It can fit in there in my business suit. I've worn it a few times on an inside pocket, and it's so lightweight I don't even notice it in there. But you should have some way to protect yourself, and this is just the way I carry. You may want to carry OC spray, mace, something like that. But when I'm not carrying that, if I'm carrying one on my belt, this is the one I carry on my belt. And actually, this is normally the one I have on my body every single day. And one of the biggest things about that is I've customized it. I've made it mine. So it's got a light on it. It's got the red dot sights on it. So it's something I practice with a lot. I went to the range. I've put literally hundreds of rounds through this thing, just dialed it in, and then hundreds of rounds after that, just getting to know the firearm itself. It's a nice size. It doesn't take up very much space, and it does exactly what I need it to do. The biggest part about if you're going to wear anything CCW is having the right holster. Do not buy just a generic holster. You want something that has some retention if you're going to be wearing it on your belt. And what I like about this one, it's made by Alien Gear. I don't even know what model it is, but it's equipped so I can also have my light on it and my red dot sight on it. But on this side is just a simple belt clip, so I can wear it on my belt. Or I can attach one to this side, so I can literally just take this off and put it on this side, and I can go down for an appendix carry. So that's handy too if I want an appendix carry. So it gives me a couple options depending on my clothing, depending on where I'm at, what I'm doing. Like with this, I like these heavier baggy shirts because it totally covers everything up. So the main thing is your weapon retention. You don't want this thing to just fall out. You don't want someone to be able to just grab it and snatch it from you. So you want it to be able to lock in there and at least have the most retention that you can have with just a simple holster. Retention is something I'm very serious about. I'm also a firearms instructor, so I teach a lot of people these types of skills. I teach them a lot of safety, and if you're going to carry something, you need to go through some classes, get some training, and learn how to draw from wherever you're going to carry. And that's your biggest thing, because if you haven't been training on it, when it comes time to need something like that, you're not going to be ready for it. So training is the key. Do it as much as you can and as often. Now, a lot of my personal training I've went to these days is, you know, I have the simulator here at the office where it's a real live simulation. One of these days I'll show you guys, but we're able to go through all these scenarios and go through all this target practice. But I like the dry fire, where you can dry fire onto these targets. It keeps track where you hit them, and I like to place them around the house, practice doing some clearing. So that's saved me a lot of rounds at the range, but you still got to put rounds down at the range as well. So that's my everyday carry. Please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel out a lot. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer any questions that you have, and I'll see you in the next video.